Hey guys, welcome to Ready Up episode 23. My name's Joshua Davis, and I'm the competitive events manager at ArenaNet. And today I'm joined by
Mr. Hugh Norfolk, new PvP designer on the competitive team.
Yep. So he was rejoined us on the PvP team. He was on there for a little while, and then he moved over to World vs. World and put some cool stuff in there. And now he's jumped back over to PvP. So figured we'd bring him on and introduce him to you guys yet again. Most of you guys are probably familiar with Hugh. But anyways, so we got a pretty interesting show for you guys today. So we're going to be talking about the World Tournament Series just for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to touch on it slightly. And then we'll be talking about some changes to Skyhammer and some other PvP stuff that's coming up soon.
Sure.
And then we'll be talking about some balance updates that are going to be going in should be in next month, in November.
Yep.
And then we'll also be talking about the Adopt a Dev program.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, so I wanted to start off talking about, so we had Tournament of Glory finals last weekend. So I wanted to do a big shout out here to Absurd for taking first place, Cognitive Gaming for taking second. And let me be clear, there's a big gap there. Even though Cognitive Gaming had the best player in Guild Wars 2 on their team, unfortunately, they were not able to pull through with that win there. So, anyways, congrats again to Absurd, and then obviously Apex for taking third place. Well fought there. Over on the EU side, that was TCG taking first place, Boone coming in second, and Made in Meta coming in third place. Just barely though. Like
barely.
They're a good contender. I've heard they've beat TCG in some team queues. So I'm looking forward to see what they bring. Anyway, so next weekend we'll have the World Tournament Series Invitational Qualifier, and that'll be the top teams from each region. The ones that qualified from Tournament of Glory, the ones that are eligible and wanting to go to China, will be playing off to see who actually goes to China, and we'll be playing for the $50,000 prize pool. That kicks off next weekend at 9 a.m. PDT, and I believe that's 18 CEST on Saturday, and on Sunday that's going to be 12 p.m. PDT and 21 CEST.
It's a lot of letters.
It's a lot of letters.
A lot of letters, but that's going to be
I blacked out. I don't even remember the letters I said. I'm like reading off of the thing here. Anyways,
right.
So we've got some updates for PvP, some minor ones. Obviously, these are non-feature pack changes to PvP, so it's sets those expectations there.
Yeah, definitely.
So the first one, coming in the next update we're going to have, that's going to be coming in with the Halloween update, the Halloween Festival. We're going to be releasing the Mad King rune set into PvP. Thought you guys should know. Very Halloween themed.
That's very, very Halloween
themed. Birds everywhere.
That's right.
And of course, with this, we're also going to be bringing in the Halloween reward track.
Yep. Halloween reward track, it's going to have, the bags, the Halloween trick-or-treat bags. It's going to have some Tomes of Knowledge, as well as the 20-slot bag at the very end of that reward track, which is the Halloween Pail. So you'll be able to run that reward track if you want for Halloween, or you can continue on your reward tracks you have right now.
Show about the bag?
Yeah.
Oh, you just said the bag.
20-slot bag.
Okay, yeah. The Halloween, I like the name. Halloween Pail. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. So anyways, let's move on to Skyhammer, and then we'll jump into balance. So I think the first change we're going to talk about with Skyhammer is going to be, so we changed the name.
Yep.
It's so we're going to call it Skyhammers.
Because we thought, one hammer wasn't enough.
It's only so cool, but if you have two hammers, it's like twice as cool.
Yeah. I mean, we put the hammer in the hammer.
Yeah, hammer. So Skyhammers. All right, we should probably stop.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, so that's actually not the change. We'll take that back.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read through the changes here, and Mr. PvP Designer here will kind of go through and talk about those changes and kind of the thought behind them and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely.
So the first one, Skyhammer Cannon. Skyhammer Cannon, you love it or you hate it. So what we're going to be doing in the next patch is we're going to be making it so you can dodge the cannon.
Yep. I mean, one of the big things we saw, right, the design behind it was we wanted it to be something that, as a player, as a team, when you get this, you can control an area. You literally put that down and say, this area you have to get out of. But obviously with the gameplay there and how our game works, usually people want to dodge it and have some play against it. And there's really, by design, it was not supposed to have play. It was literally supposed to be an area that you have to get out of. But as a team, we kind of went through, obviously listening and feedback and whatnot. We said, you know what, let's go ahead, make it dodgeable, and see how it played. Played a bunch internally. We liked it. We're going to give it to you guys. I think it's a good change. Brings play to the Skyhammer instead of being so
uncounterable on point. It's very...
It's punishing.
Yes,
it's very, very
punishing. Sure.
And so, I mean, it gets the knockdown, the big damage, all that stuff. So we kept it the same, everything the same, but just made it dodgeable.
Like this guy's comment, you get a hammer, you get a hammer.
But you can at least dodge it this time.
Yeah. If you could dodge a hammer, you can something.
Dodge a hammer.
Dodgeball reference, I don't know. Anyways, so the next change coming in is going to be the time before the floor panels disappear after a player steps on them has been increased.
Yes. This essentially just lets you as a player, when someone goes over the panel to try to pull you into it, or you walk over a panel or something like, or fighting near a panel, it just gives you that little extra time, again, to get out of the panel before it goes down. Again, reducing some of the very punishing mechanics. Because again, that's an instant death. And so what we wanted to do is, again, give you just a couple more seconds to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Or if you see someone jump on it, you can see that they're trying to pull you in it. You have a couple more seconds to see it and react to it.
And this change is going to pair really well with the next change because these kind of combo together. So the final main change for Skyhammer coming in is going to be that players that are in stealth can no longer cause the floor panels to disappear.
So one of the things we saw, right, thieves are really good at this. Same with engineers.
Oh, yeah.
They could just go invisible.
Guilty as charged, by the way.
But we actually did this just to nerf Josh.
Hundreds of
tears.
Kills. But, well, tears, no, I mean,
tears.
There's more tears than that. Like,
that's true.
There's usually like at least 3 or 4 tears per kill.
Yeah.
So
but yeah, essentially,
thousands of tears.
You could go invis, you could walk on the panel, walk back behind the panel, do a pull skill, it would break, you'd go down, and you'd get an instant kill. Now, you cannot go invisible and make the floor shatter, as well as if someone does walk over and tries to do the pull while they're visible, you will have more time to react to it as a player.
Yeah. So the main thing here now is you can't stealth up, move onto the panel before you would trigger the panel, so it'd start to do its little animation and get ready to pull you in. But now you'll be able to pull someone on, and generally it's about 2 seconds. It depends on the skill. It's about 2 seconds of magnet pull that you're kind of stuck there.
Yep.
But now you'll have time to get up, to react to the skill, move off the panel before it actually breaks. So it should it removes some of the really unfun mechanics of the map where you just I'll be honest, there's really not a lot of people could do when I come up to a point in stealth, pull them onto the pad. Like there's just nothing you could do.
It was extremely punishing, as well as the amount of skill required to do that combo was not super high, right? The execution was not very high, and the payoff was huge, and the counter ability and the ability to react to it was very low. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think this is just good changes in general, just to add more play to Skyhammer, to the actual mechanics on the map.
Yeah. But that said, we do like the actual main mechanic of the map.
Yeah.
But we just wanted to make it so it wasn't quite as
punishing.
It can be rough for new players who aren't specifically built for that map. A lot of players running Scorpion Wire, like we said.
Yes.
Necromancer's running the pull.
Yep.
And so it should just make it a little bit better.
I think more play. I think it's always good to say we can add more play to the map and make it just a good player can play really well and still be able to survive and not be punished. And a new player who's not super great at the game just yet is not punished harder because they don't know it as well.
Yeah. So, and this kind of ties into as well. We've, if you've been following the updates that we've done over the past year or so, we're trying to add more animations to skills, making things more telegraphed, letting you know that something's going to be happening, and this kind of factors into that.
Yeah, definitely. It's just something we've kind of been working towards.
All right, so we're going to move on to balance here, and I saw Mr. Carl in chat kind of setting those expectations. So before we jump into the balance changes, I just want to mention that this is a non-feature pack balance balance update, so it's not as extensive as something you might see in a normal balance pack, right?
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind as we're going through this. And again, the last update was about a month ago.
Yeah.
So this is a fairly fast iteration. Some of these are kind of reactive changes to what we saw coming out from the 9.9 build.
Yep.
But some of the stuff is actually just quality of life stuff.
Yeah.
So there's something kind of nice for everyone here.
Yeah.
And we'll kind of go through the changes, and I'll kind of explain the thought behind a lot of these.
Yeah.
So the first one we're going to start here with is going to be the Elementalist. So in the 9.9 feature pack, we made it so that your Glyph of Elementals, you could actually control the active skill of the summon.
Yes.
Which is really great because it gave you more control over the actual NPC. You can kind of make it do what you wanted, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The problem is that skill had a 3/4 second cast time. So you would cast your pet, and then he'd be out. And then if you wanted to use that skill, you'd have to charge it for 3 1/4 seconds.
Yes.
And then he would have to move to the location and actually execute the skill. So it was a little bit wonky. So we're actually going to make all those toggleable skills active now, so you can still use them when you're like stunned.
You mean instant?
Or sorry, they're instant skills.
Yes.
Active, instant.
Same.
Yeah. So all the skills for the Glyph of Elementals and the lesser Glyph of Elementals will now be instant skills. So you no longer have that charge up time. So it should make it a bit easier to use and not as clunky, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing, right, was you'd pull it out and want to use the ability immediately, and you were like, well, I'll pull it out. You'd have to be more preemptive with it instead of being, especially if it's out for 3 seconds, it may die in that time. So I think it's just a good change overall.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to, again, these are just some quality of life changes we're going to do on these. Some classes have different things here. So we're going to move on to Engineer now. So Engineer, Magnetic Shield. So that is the 4 skill on the shield. And what it does is you pop it, and it immobilizes you in place, and reflect all projectiles, and then you can opt to pop it again. You can do a little knockback.
Yep.
So the root on that skill was kind of weird, right? Like sometimes you'd use it. I've seen players pop the reflect, and they would move right afterwards and interrupt the skill. So it was kind of weird, and you had to be stuck in place to use it. So it kind of just felt strange. So going forward, after the update, the ability will be able to be used while moving.
Yep.
So you actually be able to pop your reflect shield and still use it. It'll act very similar to the 5 skill.
Yep.
So you can pop it, move around, and still use it, and then you can pop it.
So knock them back.
Knock them back still. So you can kind of position yourself to get those knockbacks. So kind of a nice little quality of life change there.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving on, some buffs for Slick Shoes.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited about these. We don't really see it in play too often these days. So Slick Shoes, the cooldown of this skill has gone from 60 seconds to 45 seconds. So it should be a little bit nicer to take now, and of course that's also going to work with the reduction, the cooldown reduction trait.
That's great.
Now for super speed, the cooldown of that ability has been reduced from 45 seconds to 30 seconds. It's also the stun break, right?
Yep.
And it gives you a couple seconds of max movement speed, which is pretty great as well, which bypasses any movement impairing skills, except for immobilize.
Yeah. That's great. Another good change.
All right, moving on to Guardian. So Guardian, we're gonna lower the cooldown of Retreat. So right now, Retreat is a 60-second cooldown base on live. Yep. And if you look at the other skills that are shouts, right? You have a stand your ground, you have hold the line. You have a lot of really great skills.
Really good shouts.
The cooldowns are a lot shorter, and I think the benefit of those is actually a lot better. So like hold the line, you get protection, and you get regeneration, and stand your ground, you get stability. Great skills, right?
Yeah, great.
Well, this skill, you only get swiftness, and I believe it's Aegis, right?
Yes.
And 60 seconds for that was just kind of... It was kind of meh.
Yeah.
So we've reduced the cooldown from Retreat from 60 to 40 seconds. Now you can kind of throw that in your rotation. You can actually opt in on using that if you want to, and it won't be such like a, niche.
Yeah.
Super niche.
Yeah.
And the swiftness duration stayed the same as well, so you don't have to worry about reduced swiftness duration. So the uptime is actually higher now.
Yeah.
And again, that still works with any shout reduction trait as well.
Yep.
Another small change here for the Guardian is going to be Bane Signet. Bane Signet knockdown duration is going from 2 seconds to 3 seconds.
It's pretty good.
That's a long time to get knocked down for.
That is pretty good. Pretty good knockdown. Pretty good CC there. It's delicious.
I've been talking a lot. Sorry.
I
I'm going to do one more.
I just drink the Tyria.
I'm making the Mesmer sweat out there. I'm sorry. All right, so Mesmer. Maim the Disillusioned, which is the Grandmaster trait that applies Torment when your clones are shattered. We're going to be upping the amount of Torment supplied from 1 to 2 stacks per clone shattered.
Yep.
And the main reason for this is actually to provide some additional build diversity for Shadow Mesmers. Mm-hmm. We want to kind of incentivize more active play with the Mesmer class for condition specs.
Yeah.
What you see right now is a lot of clone death builds. A lot of people just really focusing on leaving clones out and then using Deceptive Evasion to try to pop more of those.
Yes.
Just to proc off the clone death traits.
Yes.
So we just want to have Mesmers actually incentivized to try to go in for Shatters in a Conti spec build.
Yeah. No, I think it's another good change.
This is not PU Mesmer build, right? So
Yeah.
it's quite a bit different. All right, moving on to Necromancer. So Grasp, which is going to be the one skill on your staff.
Okay, yeah.
So that's the big old hand that comes flying out.
The snitch one.
The snitch?
He's snitching on you.
Oh, okay. I've not seen that. I've not seen that. So Necromancer, Grasp, the velocity of the projectile has been increased by 50%. Any of you Necromancers out there, you're probably very familiar with, using Grasp from, max range, and you watch it, hobble over to your target. It's like, come on, buddy.
Come on,
you
can
can
do
make
it.
it.
You can, and then, he took a step.
Yeah, he gets there, and he either sidesteps it or whatever. It's really difficult to land, and it's really hard to build life force with that skill if you're really far out of range.
Yeah.
And so this should make the skill a bit more easy to actually land on your target and build up the life force and do a bit of damage with it as well. Staff does scale really well with power builds. Yeah. And not being able to land your main attack there, your auto attack, was really difficult for that build.
Well, yeah, especially when all you have to do is take a couple side steps, and it was way off.
Yeah, way off. All right. Moving to Life Siphon, which I believe is going to be the dagger skill.
Yep.
So I believe this number here is actually wrong, so I'm not going to read it off. But I will say that the healing and heal scaling of this skill has increased significantly.
Yes.
I believe, I'm going to throw out a soft number here, the safe number. I believe it's 25% base. So you should be able to sustain yourself a bit easier now when you're playing like a power necro, like a tankier necro.
Yeah, if you're going in for the melee, one of the big things, I was talking to actually Carl about this change, it was, one of the big things, they couldn't really facilitate their life because they're in there with, some of those big hitters. Right. And so it was usually safer for them to play like that mid-range game. So they wanted to give them just a little bit something to hopefully help them stay in that melee.
Sure. A lot of players are asking for protection, for stability and whatnot for Necromancer, and that's not really their Oh, there we go. Carl's saying it. The base has gone up by 25%, and the healing power increase has gone up by 75%. Thank you, Carl.
Good old Carl saving the day.
Yeah. So anyways, that should help power spec necromancers to stay in fights a little bit longer, a little bit more sustained.
Yeah.
Like I was saying before, a lot of necromancers want vigor, and they want protection, and they want stability. That's not really the theme of the necromancer, right? The theme of the necromancer is kind of like living with your death shroud.
Life
steal, death shroud.
Yep.
The necromantic theme. So this should provide some more sustain there.
Yep.
Moving on to Thief. All Venom abilities have had their cooldown reduced from 45 seconds to 40 seconds.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It doesn't seem like a lot.
It does not seem like a lot, but I mean, Venoms are getting pretty close, right? Like in the 9.9 feature patch, we made it so conditions scale off of the original.
Yeah, the Thief's actual.
Right. So like you could actually apply.
You
could be very high con spec and give it to your allies and do tons of condition damage to your allies.
Yep.
So it's really great. Venoms are pretty close. I mean, the main thing with Venoms, you have to kind of think of when you're equipping those those skills rather. Like, what are you taking, or what are you losing out on? What's the opportunity cost?
Yep.
So like a Venom for Share Thief, generally, you're losing Shadow Refuge, you're losing Shadow Step, you're losing Infiltrator Signet. You're losing a lot of stuff that provides you a lot of utility.
Yep.
So this should make that decision a little bit easier for you. Venom Thieves are not super meta. As far as I know, in a lot of parts of the game.
Yeah.
Maybe they're using kind of some niche builds in World v World, like PD specs.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is this is the Thieves kind of support spell, right? They're being very team-oriented. Mm-hmm. They're not being selfish in any way. They're pretty much saying, like, I'm giving up a lot of utility to make my team as a whole better.
Yeah.
For the initial fight, for that initial run-in, right? Like, that's what they're doing. And it's, I mean, just a little bit of shape here. And like you said, I think we're getting close to it. But, I mean, obviously 5 seconds may be just enough for some people to actually want to go and try it.
All right. Moving on to Warrior. So Warrior, these are going to be some changes focused around Mace, which doesn't see a ton of play.
Yes.
Outside of, I believe I was talking to Evan earlier, and he said it was used a bit in dungeons.
Yeah, dungeons a little bit.
So Crushing Blow, the number of vulnerability applications that this ability applies has been increased from 4 to 10.
6% extra damage.
6% extra damage. There you go. And then with Tremor, the velocity of the ability has been increased by 12%. So it should be a bit easier to land.
Yeah, a lot of times what we'd see is at max range, it just wouldn't get there. You'd use it and you're like, got him! And it would just kind of like, and they'd walk out of it or take a step and it would just not really get there. 12% doesn't sound like a lot, but it may just be that enough to get to the end point to get those guys at max range.
Yep, so like I said before, this is not a full balance patch, right?
Yeah.
This is an update that's outside of a feature pack.
Yep.
Kind of just some quality of life changes, kind of freshen things up here.
Yeah.
I don't think any of these are super meta creating, right? We're not going to have the game's not going to change drastically from these, but they will make some things better to use and some things will be easier to use for sure. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, just a nice little thing that Balance Team was able to kind of throw together for us. Quality of life, a little bit of stuff here and there, but really, just a kind of off the feature pack kind of balance change, which is nice.
Yep. All right, so we're actually cruising.
Yeah,
we're
killing it.
But
yeah,
we're doing really well today. So we talked about the World Tournament Series. We talked about some updates coming to Skyhammer.
Yep.
We talked about the Halloween reward track.
Yep.
And we also mentioned that the Mad King rune set will be coming to PvP.
I'm pretty excited about that. It's going to be nice.
Yeah, just adding some more variety. Again, this is kind of a holiday themed, right?
Halloween. Definitely themed.
Halloween. The next episode of Ready Up actually will be on Halloween. Just for anyone who's
you're going to dress up, right?
I will dress up.
Oh.
I'm going to dress up like
you.
you.
What should you dress
I'm going to be you.
Oh, that's not hard to do. You just put some glasses on, look like Harry Potter, and you're good to go.
Hugh, enough fluff. Enough fluff. All right. Wow. So I did troll a little bit.
Yeah, you missed one.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, yeah, you know what? They're just going to leave that one off. Okay, that's cool.
They're so mad.
Hey, there's a little bit of mad there. A little bit of mad there.
Yep. So this one, with the 9.9 patch, right? We saw a lot of Rangers using longbow.
Really?
You'd be surprised.
I didn't see that at all. That's weird. You say that.
Wow, Carl,
just
Carl, you're the worst. I'm revoking Carl's chatting rights.
Yep. So,
anyways, like Carl said in chat, so we're actually going to be adding a tell to the animation for point blank shot.
Yes.
It's super strong. It's an amazing knockback. It really allows you to get the rapid fire off, pretty much guaranteed.
Yes.
So it'll have more of an animation to it now. It's actually got the similar wind-up on it that you would see on Pin Down.
Yes.
So you kind of have like the flowing white little lines around it as you actually pull it back. And the actual projectile itself will have a purplish tint on it, so you can kind of tell it from other standard auto attack or anything else like that.
Good change, good change. Going again with like the Skyhammer change, right?
Yes, the Skyhammers.
Yep, Skyhammers.
Skyhammers. Anyways, so again, I just want to keep reiterating this point, is that this is not the end-all, be-all bounce patch. This is to say in between. Just kind of checking things out, throwing some new things in, and kind of see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
And again, we're still evaluating changes that came in from the 9.9 feature patch. There's a lot of conversation on the forums about, Rangers and, I mean, let's be honest, about everything.
Yeah, of course.
About everything. No one's quiet.
Yep.
So we are still evaluating the feedback from those and looking at those changes. It's maybe something we look to address in the future update.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyways, shout out to Dolphy and the Wiki guys for probably listening to this and writing it on Reddit as we speak.
Every single thing.
Love you, Dolphy.
Yep.
All right, moving on to the last thing. So we had the World v. World Fall Tournament.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It was. So for you guys who are not familiar, we had the World v. World Adopt a Dev program.
Yep.
And so basically what the Adopt a Dev program is we had a bunch of devs in the studio that kind of got together and said, like, okay, what guilds can we join? Well, actually, so to start out, John Corpening reached out to the community, and we had literally hundreds of guilds say, like, please send a dev to play with us this season. And we had a bunch of devs in the studio that got together, and we all assigned ourselves to different guilds. Quick shout out to Driven by Fury. They're on Desolation now. Love those guys.
That was your Adopt a Dev guild, right?
That was my guild, yeah. So those guys are hilarious, super trolly, fit in pretty well. Between playing Would You Rather in guild chat, and I'm definitely not going to repeat it on live stream because I will probably get fired. Absolutely amazing stuff to Thorman actually chasing me down on the Eurogamer live stream and killing me in front of thousands of people.
Nice of him.
And then doing the building.
Of course.
Put blueprints on my body.
Of course. I mean, that's standard World v. World practice. You see a dev, you kill them, you put some siege on their body.
Yeah, of course. So my own guildie hunting me down and blueprinting my body. It was glorious. Thank you, Thorman. Thank you, rest of DF. Much appreciated.
I mean, for me, I was on. Luckily, I got picked up by TC Guild, CERN. It's Chew was one of the guys who actually put it in. Great guild. I mean, I love that guy. I actually was streaming every Friday during the tournament, except for the last week because we just didn't have enough. Something happened, and I just wasn't able to stream on that week. But yeah, I streamed the first, second, and third week. I was with It's Chew and CERN, and we were playing, Tier 1, and then we went down to Tier 2, and then we're back up to Tier 1. I mean, it was crazy fights. If you look on the, you go on the Twitch channel, you can actually go back and watch those 3 weeks. Lots of fun. I tried my best. To not die as much as possible.
Oh, I fed like crazy. I was a...
you were the best feeder.
I was the rally bot.
I did my best to make myself as tanky as possible, and so that way I could try my best to commentate the match, like the engagements that were going on, without dying. I did definitely like. It
was an admirable attempt.
It was definitely. I definitely died a lot.
Yeah.
I had some people hunting for my body. Beatus. Dr. Beatus.
I've got to address this. I'm watching chat, guys. And someone asked about my time in Strike Force on Jade Quarry.
Oh.
I didn't play with you guys as much as I would like to. I was at Eurogamer, and I've been out a lot and other stuff. But I did enjoy my time with Lectal. He is a very interesting commander. Very interesting commander.
I like it.
Anyways, Strike Force guys are great. Really good guys there as well. So one thing that I want to talk about with the adaptive program, right, is the benefits that we got. So we had all these different devs from different backgrounds and all these guilds from different backgrounds that all played the game a different way. So the great thing about World versus World is that you can go in, you can play in a roaming guild, or you can play in a guild that's really focused on PPT. You can play in a fighting guild, quote unquote, or like a GVG kind of guild, and just go in and do big skirmishes and just run around and look for fights, which really appeals to me personally because that's what I like to do. Is I like to bash face.
Well, I think that was the really. The best part about it was a lot of people were comfortable playing World War in their specific way, but with Adopt a Dev, we got pulled out of our comfort zone a lot of times. I was used to running with a specific guild in World v. World, and we always kind of did the same thing. And I mean, it's still fun, but going out and playing in TC and playing with a very organized, I won't say more organized, but a different type of organization guild was totally different, a completely different experience. The same with when I would play World v. World, sometimes I play with the 5-man, and we would just do small roaming stuff, right? So being able to play with that big Zerg again and see like Blackgate play like that, I think it was great for a lot of devs who were very comfortable when they played World v. World to get out of that comfort zone. I think we learned a lot internally.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so all the different kind of guilds I mentioned, the PPT guilds, roaming guilds, GVG, fighting guilds. There's also different levels of those kind of guilds, right?
Yeah.
You have like your casual players, you have your hardcore players. So the impressions that these guys get, how they play World versus World, how they experience it is a lot different.
Yeah.
You compare two guys side by side, and they're going to have completely different priorities and suggestions and opinions on the game. So what was really great is we would go and play, 2 weeks of the tournament, we'd come back in, we'd regroup in our big meeting room, and we'd have some pizza, and we'd kind of discuss what was going on. And we came out with a lot of really great feedback, and it's really actually driving the discussions we're having now with how we improve World versus World in the future. So I think really what I'm getting is that we just wanted to give a big shout out to everyone who participated in the program and actually took one of the devs in. If there was people out there who wanted the dev and we didn't have enough, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We only have so many devs that were, that wanted to do it. And
but we appreciate everybody who just participated in the tournament.
Yeah,
right? Like
that too.
One of the big things, right, was like, we can't do the tournament without you guys. And we wanted to give back to you guys by doing the adoptive program. And we just appreciate just how much passion everyone puts into the tournament. I mean, we heard stories of people playing 36 hours straight, playing 24 hours straight. I mean, obviously we don't. I'm not saying you have to, but I'm just saying it's really awesome and it's humbling to me as a designer who worked on World v. World or who works on the competitive team to see people have that much passion for a game type. And so, big thanks to everyone who participated, the devs, the guilds who took us in and showed us hospitality and also
trolling and
trolled
and bad words.
I mean, they made you part of the family of that guild.
Potentially bannable things.
But like, I love that the guild was able to just take us in so quickly and make us feel like part of that guild.
Yeah.
Like that was what was really awesome. Like talking to like my guild, the Chew, and going into the Mumble server and like just saying, "Wow, these guys just don't hold back, man. They're just right here with me. Like I'm one of the boys."
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I mean, those are the main things we told them. Treat us like you would treat anyone else.
Yeah.
Like don't feel like you have to hold back what you would say because we work at ArenaNet.
But
they didn't.
Yeah,
they went ham.
Yeah, definitely some of them did. But I mean, they were always usually really respectful as well. I mean, they definitely.
In your experience.
My experience, everyone was really respectful. CERN is a great guild. I love them. So.
Yeah. No, my guys were great. I really had a lot of fun. And it was a good time.
You were EU, right?
Yeah, I was on EU.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I think most people know that I'm mostly focused on PvP. That's kind of like my main area. That's where I started with. But actually, kind of getting the hardcore. This is how World v. World is from these guys.
Open PvP.
It was really great.
Yeah, it's great.
So, anyways, thanks again, guys. I think that's all we got for you guys today. Definitely take a look probably on the forums or on Reddit for some patch notes of this. This show will also be on YouTube.
Oh, we almost forgot.
No, I didn't forget.
Oh, okay.
He just gets a little jumpy. He just gets jumpy. It's
one more thing.
Mark Katzba.
Yep.
Cat's back.
Cat's back.
Mark Cat's back. The line I usually say is, you might recognize him from the bottom of a thread in the forums just shortly before he locks it. He's helping us produce the show here. Anyways, we've got a clip for you guys. We actually got our devs together and did some interviews on the World vs. World tournament and the experiences, and we've got a little short preview of that. So we're actually going to play the clip for you right now, and then we'll actually have the real video, the full video, out sometime next week. So we're going to kick that off right now.
Well, introduce the people who are actually in there as well.
Okay, so the guy with the beard, that's John Corpening. He's the associate game director, so he's essentially in charge of all the competitive parts of Guild Wars 2. So that's going to be PvP, World vs. World, and then also has this balance as well.
Yep.
The other guy that's going to be on there, and I think he's the only person that's on the video. I think he's the only one.
Yeah,
is going to be Chris Whiteside, and he's the studio design director.
Yes.
So he's in charge of this guy. He's like your boss's boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in the bottom.
So he's kind of in charge of the oversight and how we move Guild Wars 2 forward.
The vision of Guild Wars 2.
So we're going to kick that video off right now.
Ooh.
I almost knocked that over. Anyways, enjoy the video.
We just thought, we really want to shake things up, really want to try things out differently. We want to get out of our comfort zones, get to meet new people, get to play on different worlds and all that. So
it's really, really important to see it through players' eyes and to see how they experience things.
I named it Adopt a Dev, and that kind of caught on. It blew up much bigger than I could possibly have imagined. Originally we were thinking we'd have a couple dozen guilds sign up. We ended up with, I kind of lost track, around 150 or so.
Oh, you didn't even say anything. We're back.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh, hey, let's go, guys.
So anyways, guys, that was the the intro clip. We have a lot of there's more interviews, more devs that participated. I think I'm even in there. I think you're in there too.
Yeah, I'm in there as well.
Were you in that one? I didn't.
I don't think I was in
attention.
there.
I did not watch it.
No, I'm not in there. I think it was
too short. Didn't watch.
That's right.
Anyways, guys, so thanks for watching today. Ready Up will be back in 2 weeks on Halloween, and we'll be talking about some more stuff. Who knows what it'll be? It's too soon to talk about it.
That's right.
Tune in next week at the same time for POI, which is our PvE-ish and living world-ish kind of show, hosted by Ruby Bayer, and should be pretty exciting because we do have updates coming in pretty hot here.
Yeah.
So definitely tune in for that. And again, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you guys follow the channel so you can be notified anytime we go live.
Yeah.
And again, my name's Josh, and I'm the competitive events manager.
I'm Hugh Norfolk, PvP game designer here.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Anyways, yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Have a good one, guys. Thanks for coming.